What is going on, everybody? Ryan Leary and William Tincup here with another episode of The Barf. Mr. William, what's going on, brother?
Having a great day. Great
Are
day,
you?
Ryan. Yeah,
Are
I
you?
am.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know why?
Why?
I got a lot of work done yesterday. Like an inordinate amount of work done.
I feel like there's a soundbite about to happen. Like,
Dude,
whoa.
dude, I mean, you have the same type of list. You know, it's never ending, and you never kind of get done.
Mhm.
But this is one of them where I almost got done.
I'm proud of
Like,
you, man.
oh, it was nice. It
I
was
am,
nice.
in the 15 years we working together, you're almost done some shit. That's
Eh,
good.
one or two things. Just cross the things off the list.
All right,
Two
so
shows went live on Work Define.
yeah, we did. It's right. Let's do that. Welcome the shows. Who do we got?
So we've got from salary.com, we've got HR Data Labs with
Yeah.
233 episodes, and Payroll Baddies, which is a
Yeah.
global payroll play show. And that's, I think, 33 episodes, almost 300
Yeah.
episodes, a little bit less than that.
That's beautiful. Welcome
One,
to the
one day,
network.
boom, boom.
Yeah,
We're getting,
what I want to know is how, and I'm talking to you, payroll baddies, how do I get this outfit?
oh, yeah,
I want the
the
outfit, I
suit.
want the chain.
You saw that they gave Pete the chain. He was on the show.
I saw a video a photo of Pete
He
on
had the
LinkedIn.
bling. He had the bling. I'm
Oh,
like, dude,
I'm
come
just
on now.
saying, I want my big chain.
They got
However,
some for the audience. Go and take a look at the even if you're not into global
payroll
payroll and all.
baddies.
Yeah, go take a look at the show because they have 6 hosts and they're all experts. Like the one of them is like the go to market leader for Success Factors or SAP Success
Hmm.
Factors for payroll. Like
Right.
these aren't
No,
these aren't
they know what they're doing.
they know what they're
No.
doing.
I
So
just
yeah,
don't know if the velour suits are gonna.
dude, I had one.
Can't
I
do
had a
that.
I had a
You would
Puma
have had one.
suit. I had a Puma suit in the early aughts
Mm.
uh, that was bought for me, and it was velour top and bottom. It was greatness, super
See,
comfortable.
when you had that velour suit, it was actually in style.
No, 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 no. This was no, this would have been '06, '07.
Okay. All right.
No, no, no. I got it way out of style. But there is a funny story about I went when I was in Houston, and I'm wearing a trucker hat and the full suit, and we go see
Who?
Bernard
Oh,
Hodis.
Bernard Hodis. Okay. I thought you were talking like a
And
band or something.
oh no, we went and saw Bernard Hodis, and
Okay.
I had like stripper glitter and ashes and just all kinds of shit all over myself. And they hired us.
Velour
Like,
suit, stripper glitter, and ash. There you
dude, I mean,
go.
if you show up like that and you act like that, occasionally it breaks your
It's
way.
yeah, yeah.
Not everybody can pull that off.
All right, man. We've got a lot of shit to talk about today.
Well, you got some good stories here. Are
Yeah.
you ready?
So let's do it. You want to kick us off?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do
This
it.
is a quote. So this is in breaking news. So this is the B of the barf. All right, this is a quote. So I'll start with that. I'd say it's going to be a long time before it's good at physical manipulation. So a good bet would be a plumber. For mundane intellectual labor, AI is just going to replace everybody. And this is Jeffrey Hinton, a former Google neural network expert, the godfather of AI, on which types of jobs are more at risk for AI displacement. And this is Business Insider, so you can read the whole article. But the first thing when I read that is I'm like, okay, so that tracks a lot of things that we know. But
Hmm.
what is mundane intellectual labor? Is that just a fancy way of saying repeatable,
Yeah, yeah,
you know, low value task? Okay.
yeah. Repeatable. Sit at the desk and
But why intellectual? Like mundane labor or
well,
mundane task?
because I actually I know I'm tracking with this because a task is repeatable
Right.
or mundane doesn't mean you don't have to be smart or
Ah.
have an intellectual kind of
See, I've always thought the opposite.
yeah. Like I mean
That's an elitist right there. I'm
yeah,
sorry. You said mundane and intellectual in the same sentence. I'm like,
yeah, I
yeah,
did.
they don't go together.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No, I mean, they could. They
They
do.
could.
They
They
do.
could.
But
I
no,
think he's just talking down
I'm
to
vibing
people.
with this. I get it.
So here come the plumbers. I guess is the net net.
Yeah. Yeah,
Good for them.
and a whole bunch of them. All right.
Yep.
So Walmart adds real-time AI translation and task guidance to its associate app.
Smart.
Yeah, so every associate in the store has a phone. They're not just texting. They're actually it's a Walmart app, right? Tell
Right.
inventory, all this type of stuff. Well, now it translates languages into 44 different
Genius.
languages.
This has been a problem for Walmart. Well, all retail.
All
We talked about
retail.
Home Depot, the last store,
Yeah,
about being able to go and then them being able to look at, yep, this is exactly what it is.
yeah,
Blah blah blah. Here it is.
yeah.
We have four in stock. All that stuff. This is just that next level of that game of
Exact.
being
No, it
able to say.
exactly is.
So like I know Spanish ish,
Hmm.
but not fluent. So like someone comes up and they start talking to me, it's like I could just hit the little button
This
and it,
is yeah,
dude, you get
and this
me?
is the way to fix that. Now, so
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah, so here's how the app, well, not how it runs, but here's a couple numbers on the app. So 44 languages are supported.
Hmm.
They have 1.5 million US associates are now on and can access the AI tools.
Oh, that's cool.
900,000 associates are actively using the app, and it fields over 3 million questions a day from the floor of the store. A
Just
day.
getting smarter. Just getting
Every day.
smarter. Yeah.
Every single day. Love it.
Genius.
Love it. Good for Walmart.
Yeah. All right. So, workplace wellness, this also in quotes, workplace wellness isn't failing because it's frivolous. It's failing because employees aren't engaging with it. It's a
Mm.
fastcompany.com article. So, the, and reading it, here's what I kind of got to. It's hard to think about productivity or engagement when you're looking for a new job. So it's also a bit tone deaf. So let me explain what I mean by that. So you're talking about workplace wellness. So your health, your
Hmm.
financial, mental health, all that stuff kind of talked, all of them tucked together. Well, think about talking about financial health, wellness
Hmm.
with somebody who's constantly thinking that their job's going to be replaced. Like, why would they even engage in that app? You know what I'm saying?
I don't
Like,
know.
it's kind of an impossible ask. It's like, hey,
Mm.
we want to really care about your mental health. Well, stop talking about how we're going to get fired. That'd
You,
be nice.
I don't. You know where I stand on this stuff. Like, just fucking work. Like,
Oh, I
you're
know.
in the
I know.
building, you're getting paid. Work and do
I
well.
know.
Like, you can't control that future all the time.
Fair enough.
Just
I,
yeah.
it is interesting. This is the first time I've seen it's that the engagement part that they're not adopting it. They're not
Yeah.
using it.
Well, is a benefit, right? That's what you always say, right? If it's not
100%.
being used, and I mean, yeah, I don't know. I, it's like I tell my kids, stop whining. Just go to fucking
Did
work.
you get
Just
it? Rub some dirt
go
on it.
do your homework. All right.
Do another lap. Do a
Yeah.
lap. Did you ever? Your coach ever tell you that? Do a lap around the track.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Forever, everything. You looked at them wrong. Go run a fucking
oh
lap.
no, I'm talking about like we're injuries.
Oh yeah. Well,
I
yeah.
came down on my shoulder wrong one time after being tackled, and I'm up and I'm going over to the
Yeah.
huddle. He's like, "Hey man, just go do another. Just kind of work it out. Just work it
Yeah.
out. Just kind of run around the track a couple times." I'm like,
Throw some dirt in it. Move on. All right.
pretty sure that's not going to help.
Panera. You ever eat Panera?
Only a couple times.
If I took the
It's not my
advice,
favorite.
if I took the advice of some investors and bought stock in the shit that you buy,
Hmm.
the amount of food my family buys from Panera, I'd be
Really
doing pretty well. They love their mac and cheese. I don't know. I don't eat this shit.
interesting.
Anyway, so Panera, a franchisee,
Yeah.
violated federal child labor laws
Oof.
involving 240 minors. So,
That's
more moral of the story is hire younger, work them hard, pay them shitty, and get fined. Admit no wrongdoing because that's exactly what these guys did. So, the
yeah.
franchisees in Florida. They employ 240 minors. They're under the age of 16, which is okay.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
allowed. They're allowed. However, they violated the labor laws on the capped hours. So 14
I
and
gotcha.
15-year-olds have certain number of capped hours. You can only work 3 hours, I think it is, during the week, during school sessions, and then like 20 hours or 18 hours for the total week, and then like 40 hours in the summertime or when school's not in session. They didn't follow that, of course. They just kept working them and paying them, but working them anyhow. So they did a consent decree. So they
I
didn't.
wonder if the kids cared.
No, they didn't care. They were getting paid. Like, they don't
Okay.
care. My
No,
daughter, my
I'm
daughter.
thinking about is this a victimless crime?
Well, this is how it ended, right? So,
Okay.
a $600,000 fine. They signed a consent
That's
decree.
nothing.
No, it's nothing. They admitted no wrongdoing. They agreed to pay the fine to move on,
And they're going to do it again.
and they're, well, probably not, because I'm sure the fine would double at that point. However,
Nope. No, but if it's just about maintaining hours, if that's the only thing,
hire
like you
more
can hire
people.
50. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they
Yeah,
can manage that part.
yeah.
You just hired their friends.
The fact that he had 240 kids working, I
That's
never
a
real I
that's
know they
that
have to hire a lot, but I didn't realize it was that
that's
much.
an Epstein number right
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
Oof,
good Lord.
oof.
Move on. Next story.
Well, you know what? Child labor laws was one of the original regions that we have trade unions
I did not know that.
because way back when they were. I mean, this was like 6 and 8 year olds, like type shit, working in steel mills,
Hmm?
and they unionized. And
Got
that
it.
like the federal government's like, hey, listen, come on, the 6 year old shouldn't be handling the
Yeah,
blowtorch.
well, they
Come,
could.
style that back a little bit.
Ay.
So yeah, good for them. All right, executives are sending mixed messages to workers about the pros of using AI, while the cons include workforce reductions to make room for AI.
It's about right.
Right? That tracks
Hmm?
Axios.com. Do you want to take that? I've been thinking a lot about this lately, actually. And it reminds me of Animal Farm. You remember reading Animal Farm? The George
I've
Orwell?
seen, yeah. Hmm.
Basically, the words keep changing over time. That's the bit is as you move forward in the book or whatever, you the words for everybody start changing. And it reminds me of like, okay, AI is the future. Okay,
Hmm.
we get that. Use AI every single day and whatever you do at work. Sorry, you lost your job. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the levels of like of hype. AI is the future. Oh my
Hmm.
God, it's changing everything. No one's going to argue with that. That you should use AI every day in your job. Whatever you do, you're a secretary, you're the VP of sales, whatever. Use AI. And then the next thing will be the carpet being pulled out from underneath people. That AI will replace their job.
Same old boring story. Do you work? Get paid.
Yeah, well,
How's it?
until
Live
until
long
it
and prosper. How's that go?
live long and prosper.
I've never even. I don't. I'm not a Star Trek guy. There you go.
Oh yeah,
All right.
can't hate him.
So this one should probably be in research, but I wanted
Eh.
to put it in here because it's probably not breaking news. It's just funny to me. Half of employees secretly dial back working during the summer. This found by Glassdoor. So, are you surprised by this?
I,
Um,
I'm trying to think of the number being higher.
yeah.
Like,
So, all right.
who's working harder in the summer?
Yeah. All right. Let me run through those numbers. You ask, right?
Okay.
Gen Z, dude, Gen Z is not even hiding this.
Mm.
64% admit of 20 to 20, 21 to 25-year-olds admit that they're basically just like, I'll circle back with you in September, bro.
Holla.
Like, that's it. So let me give 40,
Hey,
49% of employees intentionally reduce their work efforts during the summer. 64% did that one of the 21 to 25 pullback. 56% of workers aged 26 to 29 also admit to pulling back. But our friends, the boomers,
mm,
39% of workers over 45 say that they scale down
yeah,
slightly
yeah,
in the
yeah,
summer because
yeah,
we
yeah.
care. We care. I'm not a boomer, just saying,
Yeah.
but I am
But
over 45 and I
so,
care
what's your
about work.
theory on the 21 to 25-year-old? Why they 64%? Why they
They're still living college at that point. They're,
uh,
yeah,
exactly correct.
20 to
High school,
30, they
actually,
haven't
K
grown up.
K through 12, they had their summers off.
K
Then they
through
got into
18.
college. yeah, and then they got into college
Yeah,
and they had their summers off.
yeah.
So they get their first job and it's like summers are off.
Summers are up. Yeah, no, it's I will say, like, so I mean, I'm not ancient. I'm 47, right?
That's
So
pretty fucking ancient to me.
it's get no, yeah, no, I don't think about that. Although, what was it? It was like a year ago. I realized I was actually a year younger than I thought I was. I remember
Hmm.
that conversation. Yeah,
You'd been lying to
I
yourself so
have
long
been.
that
Yeah,
yeah,
which I
yeah.
was. We came up last night. Somebody said that they were like a year younger or something. And I was like, oh, that happened to me. Like for whatever reason. Anyhow,
I couldn't tell you my age to save you my life.
yeah.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah. Oh, and anyhow, in the summer for me, it becomes a little tough because I've got 3 kids at home. My
Right,
wife's a teacher, so literally everyone's off. All of
right.
the sports, all of the stuff, and
That's
so
distractions.
it's distract
That's
and it
that's
can
distraction.
feel like I'm on not working. Like it's what it so if I'm not down here in the office,
Yeah,
it's very easy to get distracted. And I've often thought about getting out of the house
yeah.
during the summer.
Well, you did that for a bit.
I
I think
did,
it
yeah.
was I think it was pre-COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've often
you
worked
had
from the kayak too. I mean, that's
well, that's yeah. I was talking about when you went with Mark
oh yeah, over
Pfeffer.
to the office.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was fine. But then I had to drive 20 minutes each way, and yeah,
This is an easier commute.
it is, it is, it is. So anyhow,
All
yeah.
right. You ready for one? RTO policy may cost HSBC an estimated $200 million
Hmm.
as the bank considers whether to secure additional space for workers based in cities, including London and Bangalore. This is Bloomberg, so you can kind of trust this. So, yeah, this doesn't make sense to me. Spend the 200 million on AI and eliminate the need for offices. Like just to reroute the money. Why are we going and getting more office space and creating all that? Just spend it on AI.
I don't know how I feel about this.
You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah,
$200 million, when I read that, I'm like, even to a big bank like them,
yeah.
that's still a number.
It's a big number.
That's a big number.
I'm lost on this, man. Like I don't want to be in an office.
I
I
can't,
get it, like this.
other than young people,
Yeah,
I don't know who
this
does.
is my office. However, I don't think it's bad that a company wants employees in an office. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
mine's real
I think people
simple.
are just fighting it too much.
It's real simple for me. It's flexibility. We have an office.
Right.
If you want to be in the office, fantastic.
Come in.
If you want to be at home, fantastic. You want to work 4 days a week, do. As
Whatever.
long as the job gets done,
That's
why
right.
would I care?
Yeah, no, I think, I've thought about this part a lot. There's a lot of debate, can you build culture? Can you not? Can you do this
Mm,
and all this? I think we need 10 years. We need 10 or 15 years in this model.
yeah,
Then we'll be able to, and it might be completely wrong and everyone goes back. And that's
I,
okay
I'm
too.
I'm going to go ahead out on. I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't want you to saw the branch off. Culture equals paying people more money. What else? No, seriously. Okay,
Yeah,
we're past beanbag chairs and foam darts and whatever
yeah.
the other bullshit that we spent on office. We went remote. At the end of the day, if I told you, Ryan, we're going to pay you $50,000 more, and because that's our culture,
Well, I think that, yeah, no, I mean,
are you not taking the check?
oh no, I'm taking a check. I'm taking the check, but
I'm depositing that.
I'm depositing it really fucking quick. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think
What else could culture possibly be?
for
Not to the
me,
anthropologists, but
no,
to
I
normal
don't think
people.
we need foosball tables and all of that. Like that's not. I've never looked at that as culture. That just
Right,
made it fun to be in the office, but that
right.
wears off after the first 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Like that's gone.
Our business is a family. No,
Yeah,
no, it isn't.
no. I think it really just. I got to go back to the Conexa days, man. It was top down, and I think a lot of that was me being in the office. However, I was young.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was 20 years younger,
I
right?
can see that.
So 20 years younger
Culture, the definition of culture might change as your
as you get
experience and
older.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair. To
because
me, it's fuck you, pay me.
well,
So
yeah, yeah. Well, there were older employees there
Yeah.
who could care less about the shit that was going on. Like they didn't care about the sailing bonanza, which was like this massive raffle where they gave away trips and
Right.
kitchens and cars. Like
Right.
it was
Right. Right. Right.
ridiculous.
Right.
For me, I'm like, hell yeah, I want to win. The other bit, like, no, I just want to work and go home. I've got 5 years to go. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think different people at different parts of their career, it means different things. The only
But
time I was really in an office was 20 years ago. So
but
it makes sense
money
to me.
money is the great universal
Oh,
of these
100%.
things. You
100%.
just
100%.
fucking pay people more money.
Yeah.
Turns out. All right. Normally we don't get too political on this show.
Here we go.
Despite President Trump's campaign to pledge to bolster U.S. manufacturing, factories across the country remain challenged by the recruitment and retention of qualified blue collar workers. Nearly 400,000 jobs are open.
Yeah.
New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
So I got an idea. Let me just roll it out to you. Why don't we import some laborers from other
Stop.
countries?
How do I transition? Like, just hit it like 3 times. Stop it.
Is it too soon? Is it too soon to talk
Oh
about?
God.
Dude,
Oh.
dude, we're gonna be hearing about this in every industry. Meatpacking
Yeah.
industry, farming, everywhere that depends on immigrant labor. Like, who's gonna go do those jobs? So anyhow,
Yeah.
that's on the New York Times. You go read it. It's a funny article of sorts.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some acquisitions?
Yeah. We've got a couple, and you're gonna go through them both.
I believe so.
Go
Yes.
for it.
All right. Zealous Group, a provider of AI-enabled HR, workforce management, payroll, and benefits, acquired Hasty, Hastee,
See, I
butter.
heard
Uh-huh.
tasty cake. I heard tasty cake, and I got hungry real quick.
What is it? There's a burger joint in the South called Hardee's.
Yeah, we have them. Yeah.
Do you have them up there too? All right. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of. As I'm looked at, I'm like, Hasty, Hardee's. I love them biscuits. Shit. They're a provider of well-being, financial well-being platform. So what's cool about this? This is on pehub.com. What's cool is basically Zealous looked at, okay, what do we not have? Let's serving the same customer base. They're
Mhm.
doing it one way as a bespoke product. Let's put these things together. They're both in England, I believe. So it's a great example of make versus buy. Zealous could have very easily built
Mhm.
a financial well-being platform,
It's already
but
out
why
there.
do? But why not? Yeah,
Mhm.
go bring that into your house. Now you got stuff for your prospects and your customers. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Great acquisition. Second one is Pearson. You've heard of Pearson
Of
before, right?
course, yeah.
Okay, so a lifelong learning company acquired eDynamic Learning, a provider of career and technical education
Hmm.
curriculum solutions. So this is at Pearson.com if you want to go read more about it. But basically, this is a consolidation play. They both serve the same market, K through 12, higher education, and early career. Makes perfect sense. So this is just one of those deals like if you have 22 firms doing the same thing, the market says, okay,
Yeah.
we only really need 18 of these. And
That
so
that
great
name,
acquisition.
e-dynamic learning.
That dates me.
Yeah.
That day
I
that
feel,
the e-learning is like e-learning. What are we
yeah.
learning about ease?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Research. We got some cool research this week.
we do.
We
They
do.
are.
We should
Let's
make
do it.
just research show. All right. So I feel like we've spoken about this before, and I looked and I couldn't find it, but so there was a study by Wharton recently that was released. ChatGPT kills creativity
Hmm.
in brainstorms. I know that we've talked about this. I couldn't find it that we talked about it on the
How
bar.
would it? How would it create? You're prompting it.
Well,
So how
so
would it? How would it create?
yeah, so all right.
You know
So
what I'm saying?
a couple schools of thought here. One is
Okay.
the reliance on ChatGPT, and this isn't part of the study, but part of the thought
Right.
is the reliance on ChatGPT prevents you or forbids you almost to think on your own. Your immediate reaction,
Oh,
your default
horseshit.
is go there and do the
Yeah,
thing. Now,
what did you do? What was the word you used? Your reliance. Dude, that's like saying you're back in the 10 years ago. You were reliant on Google.
oh, I know. No, no, I get it. I will say though, I will say, I never in when I had a thought, I never defaulted to Google
Right.
to say, "Oh, let me Google that." No, I had my thought, and I'm like, "Let me go
Mm.
find that." Now my initial thought really is like, no, I'm not gonna waste no fucking brain power on it. And I go
Right.
and I look. However, that's not the study. The study, they tested group brainstorms with and without ChatGPT. So the question I have for you, did ChatGPT make the group smarter or dumber?
Oh, it's not the groups, it's the outcomes that came from the groups that I would care about. So, did it make the groups smarter or dumber? It had to have made them smarter because they added the entire collection of the fucking internet. So they couldn't have been dumber.
Well,
Now, did it actually increase the value of the outputs of the brainstorms? Those are dependent on some of the people in the room too.
mhm.
So you got a multi
Well,
factors
so let me
that
let me
kind of
run you
contribute.
through let me run you through this. So
Bring it.
they ran 5 different brainstorming experiments
Hmm.
comparing groups that used ChatGPT to
Right.
those that didn't. So in the ChatGPT groups, people kept submitting nearly identical ideas, even though they worked individually in the group. So they worked individually on the group. They had a question a task that they had to do.
And it came back with a similar answer. Yeah.
Also, so here was the task. Come up with a fun toy idea that uses a brick and a fan. So the ChatGPT assisted participants mostly pitched the same version of what's called Build a Breeze Castle, which is a toy where a fan blows air through the castle built with
Huh.
bricks. 9 out of 10 people in the group came back with the same exact idea.
Homogeny. Interesting.
The
Hmm.
human the human only group, so no ChatGPT, so they worked individually and then came back as a group and then put together
Thought outside the
the
box.
thing. They all came up with completely different concepts and they had multiple different toys.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, it's still in a nascent form. ChatGPT,
Yeah.
all these models are,
Yeah.
and so I can see that they're prompting it in much the same way, which is kind of setting them up for failure.
Correct. If it's not personalized and set up properly, you're not prompting it in your way. Like
Right.
mine's going to be very different than yours, but not
100%.
everyone uses it like everyone else, right? Some people just use it to ask a question, but they're going to get a Google response at that point.
Well, see, you could easily go through that bit and then at the end of it go, I want this idea to be an idea that no one else has thought of.
Mm, maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can keep prompting it until you can get to something unique
Yeah.
if you're good at prompting, if you're creative.
Well, they didn't do that at, in this test.
Fail.
They
Enter.
didn't do this in the test. Which, by the way, I didn't bring the story, but did you know? And we have to talk about it. We'll talk about it later. 50% of people that work in creative fields identify as neurodivergent.
Not shocking. So
Yeah,
the number is actually higher
probably.
be, because of where does creativity come from?
Hmm.
Creativity generally speaking, comes from brokenness,
Right.
being misunderstood, having kind of all the things that make
Hmm.
you neurodivergent. Duh. Like if anyone thinks Picasso was like fucking normal, you should probably read.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, any of your major artists in any of the arts,
Right.
they all had stuff going on.
Yeah. So,
So
but there's a
that
yeah.
that
I
doesn't
didn't
shock
bring
me.
that stuff, but yeah, that was interesting. It came up.
I think that number is much higher. In actuality, I think that number is much higher.
Could be.
All right, artificial. This is a kind of a similar tangent. Artificial intelligence (AI) in workplaces has no significant negative effect on employee well-being, according to a study by the Scientific Reports. So that's Nature.com. You go find the article. I have a really hard time believing this at all because of the what we've talked about, FOBO, fear of being obsolete. That has to create stress. That stress has to go somewhere, whether or not we like it or not. So how is that not showing or rendering as a negative thing in engagement or productivity somewhere? Stress has to go somewhere. And if you're thinking about being obsolete and, something's coming for your job or you're just behind, hell, it doesn't, we don't have to go to AI is taking your job. It's just, I, if I'm a worker and I don't feel like I'm using AI enough or I'm proficient enough, which no one is, by the way. So if I'm thinking about that, that's got to create stress.
I don't think people are thinking of it that way. I,
Uh,
I mean, personally, I feel like people are just they're learning it. They're happy to learn it. They feel cool and advanced when they learn it, and they're getting their shit done with it. And it's more fun to work with than it is to come in and crunch numbers. I mean, think about
talk to
Excel.
Sally and Bob.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, well, let me just think about like Excel. Like when Excel was big, you
right,
came in and when you learned how to run scripts or you learned how to,
right.
you were like, look at my dashboard. Like you were the badass in the office. Same, I think it's the same thing. I don't think it's any
Huh.
different. No stress. I think it's actually fun. It's making it more fun for people to
Interesting.
work and go to and
Glass
do that.
glass half full, glass half empty.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah. I'm
All
gonna
right.
go on the
What do
half
you?
full side.
I know. What do you got?
All right. So 93% of managers say hiring now takes longer compared to 2 years ago. This is from Robert Half. They surveyed 2,200 US hiring managers and found that nearly all the managers report slowdowns in evaluating applications. So I thought about this and I don't understand it. I
Hmm.
just in evaluating the applications. Okay, so they said it's not the lack of tools, it's not the lack of technology, it's overthinking and under trusting the process.
Process, tech, all of that stuff. So there's a trust issue there with hiring managers. That makes sense. I
I,
also think that the what's going on in macroeconomics is also making that take longer. So we have a job opening. All of a sudden, we just did a riff. Is that still a job opening? Is it a soft job? Is it a hard job? I need that person. I
well,
think that spaces things out, and
well,
they don't
possibly,
trust.
possibly, but here's what the report found though. The report. I'm
Yep.
gonna give you some stats. So it's the application evaluation process is the biggest bottleneck. So 51% of them said reviewing these applications, evaluating them, and picking out the best of the best is my
Forget
issue.
about it.
47% were reference checks as the key delay. 43% was the time it takes to run the interviews.
Hmm.
30% said, I made a bad hire previously last year that
Don't want to make the same
caused an
mistake.
effect on the business,
Yeah.
and I'm afraid to pull the trigger.
So here's where, uh, if people want to make their lives a lot easier in this regard, stop thinking about technology solving your problems. It's your process. All of these things are process related.
Yeah.
You
Oh, that's
nail your process. You don't have to go through the evaluation. Throw a dart, pick a technology, and put it on a great process, and it'll work. So it isn't. They're drowning in applications and
yeah.
salespeople and marketing, and everyone's talking about how bell they're the best. Now they've got to go figure out who is actually the best. Totally makes sense. However, none of that shit is important. And people are going to fucking hate me for saying that vendor selection is just a sham. Who gives a shit? Get your process right.
Your
Hire a
process has
consultant.
to be solid.
Get your process right, and then just
Yeah.
close
If
your
you
eyes, throw a dart, pick a technology.
if you put great tech on a shitty process, it's gonna fail. Like
100%.
there's no question about it.
Yep. All right, let's do this one's going to be a kick in the nuts for everyone listening, and for you and I in particular. Showing passion for your job is good for your career
Okay.
if you're a man. An organizational science study finds out that for women, being passionate about their job can hurt them rather than help them.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Dude, first of all, it's the Wall Street Journal, so please go read at your leisure. It is a
Mm.
kick in the nuts. It's fucking harsh. I'd like to know more personally about how they defined passion, but it did make me think like, okay, so what is that, how does that render? Like a dude's like, all right, fuck yeah, let's go do this. And if a woman does the exact same thing, somehow she's
It's a
punished for that.
stigma. Yeah. You know, this is funny because I had a conversation this past was it this week or last week? I forget what it was. It might have been
One of
with
these
you. I don't
weeks.
think it was with you. If it was with you, I'm sorry. I remember the conversation, not the person. Um, it was about the WNBA. And no, it wasn't with you because they were in front of me when I said. So we're talking about the WNBA, and it was after LeBron had said, when the video came up, I'm saying just lower it an inch, lower the rim a little bit so they can dunk, make it exciting.
Hmm.
And it was like, okay, so there's a lot of debate. Like the average height of a woman in the WNBA is not the same as the men's NBA. And so, okay, so there's no dunking for the most part. Yeah, if you lower, okay, could work, couldn't, I don't know. Not part of this, but it kind of made me think of the same thing in the same breath. The guy had said to me, "Look at the skill at the
Hmm.
WNBA. Like,
Oh
why
yeah,
did people not like this? Like, look at them. Look at this one. Like, and it was like,
because it's foundationally sound. Their foundations are way better than men.
well, yes, but you don't watch an NBA game and say, "Wow, his foundational dribbling skills are just
That's right.
out fucking outrageous."
No one
Like,
cares.
this is the same. This is what this makes me think of. I can go and say, have all the passion in the world for my job, and people are like, man, he loves it. He's great. But when a woman does it, the voice can be annoying. It's too high pitched. It's annoying. She's whining. I'm not saying. I'm just saying like this is the perception that I've come across, and it's
I
like
think that's an
it
excuse.
blows my mind.
Eh,
All right. So Glean, we talked about
yes,
Glean not
we have
once,
talked about that.
not twice, but this will be the third time. They raised 150 million. Series F pushes their evaluation to 7.2 billion with 100 million ARR. So this is the third time we've spoken about them. They're bringing in the money, baby. So March of 24, they brought in 200 million. September it was 260. Now it's 150. They crossed over 100 ARR. These guys are rocking,
Yeah,
and they're not stopping. They're out for blood.
their valuation is whack,
They went from
but
2.2 to 7.2 in a year.
yeah, but it's
Mhm.
the ARR that you really concern yourself with.
Yeah,
So
of course.
10x is $1 billion.
Hmm.
So you know, that's 70x.
Mm.
That's
Well,
a bit
trust
high.
that your math is right, and
Well, it's 70 times 100 million.
yeah,
So
they're getting their money.
7.2 billion. I don't know. They're going to have to go public to get the money back to investors.
Hmm.
It's just too high of a valuation. But good for them. Congratulations. Sorry. JobRight, an AI native job platform providing JobRight Agent, an AI career agent that finds, customizes, and submits applications on behalf of job seekers. Raised 3.2. JobRight .ai. So you want to go look at that. So when I read it, I immediately reminded myself or listened to Bring the Noise by Anthrax and Public
Hmm.
Enemy
Yeah.
because this is just noise and it's going to make recruiters' jobs harder and because it's going to create more noise for them, more applicants could be qualified. Most of them aren't going to be qualified. Doesn't help. I'm happy this company got funding. I don't necessarily like the bit that they're going to market with.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know where I stand on this job seeker stuff. I mean, the whole I don't like the debate that it makes a recruiter's job harder
Well,
because it
if you
makes
have a
job
hundred
seekers' job
if
easier.
yeah, okay, play both of those sides though. If you put your job out as a recruiter and you got 1,000 candidates
Hmm.
and you had to whittle you through all the different things you
Hmm.
use, tools that you use, you whittled that down to the 20 people that you really want to talk to. And now you wake up and you've got 150,000 applicants. That has to make your job harder. I mean,
Well,
just
yeah.
there's no way around that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still put up all of the behavioral assessment, skills testing, yeah, background checks, drug screening, okay, all that stuff. You're still going to be left with 20,000 candidates. So
Mhm.
how does that not make your job harder?
Well, I'm not saying it doesn't make it harder, but I don't think it's fair for us to say job seekers shouldn't have tools for submission.
No, I'm not saying that. It's just I would rather we have more things for recruiters and how to detect AI. You're going to have both. You're going to have AI detecting AI,
Hmm.
right? I would rather we focus on the recruiting side and build that out so that we could make that easier so that when plays like this make it easier for people to apply to a lot of jobs. They can sniff that out and do better matching of a more accurate matching.
Yeah, that's the real issue is the accurate matching.
It is.
It's because I don't think it's I mean, job seekers always, well, most I would assume would customize their resume or personalize their resume for the job. That's how you were taught, right? To go look at the job description and, do all the stuff you need to do. So it's always been being done. Now it's just being done better and probably worse for most of these
I
softwares.
check me if I'm wrong though. Like with some of the major players, LinkedIn, Indeed, Zip, didn't they have just a apply?
Well, yeah, there's like easy applies and quick applies. Yeah.
Right. So that's not personalization.
Well, no, not at that, but traditional
Okay.
resume submission.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
would,
yeah,
you would
yeah, yeah,
customize
yeah,
your
yeah.
resume. So it's the same idea. It's now just being done with technology
For you.
for you. Yeah.
Like this is actually when you read into this, you don't have to. You just set up your profile,
Yeah.
and it goes and finds it and does it for you.
Yeah. Now it'll be abused. I get
Oh,
it. It's
100%.
going to be abused.
I'm gonna abuse it this afternoon.
But, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, technology has to get better on the recruiting side for better matching and all of that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I don't, yeah, I think the job seekers deserve something. Come on.
Eh. Zillow. It's like Debo from Friday.
Uh,
Zillow, a transportation as a service task provider for employees in schools offering mobility as a benefit, raised $23 million.
mm.
Global News Wire. So I like this as a benefit, especially if you're doing a return. Like, did you ever visit Silicon Valley when like Facebook had buses coming from the city going out to the campus?
No, but I've
Google
seen,
did.
yeah,
You know
I've
what I'm
seen
talking about,
videos
though.
of like, yeah.
So basically they'd come into the city because all the people would live,
Mm-hmm.
mostly the younger folks would live in the city.
Because they couldn't afford the others. Yeah.
Right. So they but the office is out, so they would come in and basically they had their own bus lines. And so like I think I like it as a benefit again if people will use it.
Mm-hmm.
It could make the RTO pill more palatable. So if I got to go to an office, but you're going to provide a bus that has Wi-Fi, and I can unpack and like read a book, do something, be on my phone, whatever that. You know what?
So what, is this like a special bus or something where you could like
Yeah,
work on it? Is that what this is?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's not a bad car. I mean, you know, I
You
don't
got
know. I don't know that actual work's going to get done. I gotta be honest. I mean,
well, even if it's not, that's okay. I don't
yeah,
hate that because commute. Like if I have to get in a car and drive to the job in Dallas,
yeah,
that's an hour both way. And I've now got to be straight. I've got to be thinking about driving,
yeah,
not thinking about anything else. If somebody else is thinking about the driving and I can think about it as, or play games,
whatever. Yeah,
who
if I'm going to take
cares?
an Uber, I can take this. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not. It's people. I've taken Ubers from the house to go places locally
right,
when the car's in the driveway. They're
right,
like, what? I'm like, well, I'm not just doing it to waste money, but I wanted to do something else.
right,
Like it was more
right.
convenient if I'm going to drive 40 minutes somewhere. If I'm thinking and driving,
Yeah,
of course you can do that. Sometimes but I'm not really processing and I'm thinking, but then it goes away. If
oh
I'm
yeah,
just on my phone, headphones on, and I'm thinking and I'm heads down, I can get a lot
yeah.
of shit done. And it's
Agreed.
worth the $30 to get from here to there in order for me to do that. When I go from home to airport or airport to the hotel,
Yeah.
I get a ton of shit done.
Oh yeah,
Like
oh yeah,
it's just, I mean, do I execute? I have no clue. Probably not. But I think about a lot of shit.
yeah, yeah.
So I like
You're
walking.
you're not thinking about the person that cut you off in traffic.
No, no, and I do the same with walking. I put my headphones in and I listen to something stupid or something mindless, and I think. Sometimes
Right.
actually yesterday I didn't have any music on. Like I literally got 3 miles in and I was like, huh, I had no music. I was
Right.
just making list of shit I needed to do and like plans. And I was like, what? They're noise canceling headphones, and I didn't hear a thing. I was okay
I
with
don't.
that.
I like that. I like that use for you.
Oh, thank you.
No, what I mean. I I I have to listen to music.
Yeah,
I have music going on right now.
yeah. I know.
During our podcast,
Mhm.
I've got Lil Wayne in my ear.
Probably why you're not listening to me.
No, no, I'm listening to you. It's just I love music that
Is that
much.
why there's a 2-second delay every time I ask you a question? No.
Oons, oons,
All right.
oons.
So AI.work
Cool, man.
raised $10 million in seed funding to bring Jesus Christ, autonomous AI agents into enterprise back offices. So
Hmm.
the goal here is to move work from AI assisted to AI operate.
Yeah,
That's the entire goal. So I love when shit gets automated. I love this play. I love everything
yeah.
about it. However, and this is your fault, you got me thinking about employees, right? So I fear employees trusting too much and showing a lack of oversight. So the system did it. I trust it. I let it go because as the new role evolves, if I'm managing the technology, I'm just going. If the company's paying hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars for the technology every year to run the company, I got to assume it's pretty damn good. Am I really going to manage it and have the oversight that I need? At some point, I'm just going to trust the system and let it go and keep going.
Right. It's what we do with all of the tech that we've adopted in the last 20 years. We just
Yeah,
try Google Maps, we just trust it.
yeah. And I trust if I make a wrong turn, it's going to be boop 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 and get me back.
Recalculating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
recalculating. Even like with stuff we do, like podcasting,
yeah.
like the transcripts. I know shit's going to be wrong. Like I'll go back
Oh,
and look
yeah.
for people's things. But if there's a misspelling, I'm not going. I remember when transcribing first, we used to go
Right.
back, drop it into Google Docs, look for the
Oh,
red
yeah.
lines, drop it back. It is
Uh,
what it is.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
send it, baby, send it.
Anybody that's sending me a comment on a transcript that ends badly, poorly.
No, not doing it.
All right. Workwhile, a provider of an AI-powered labor platform that matches businesses with hourly workers, raised $23 million.
Hmm.
Michael Jordan. Fortune.com. Now,
No,
the first thing I read, when I read their name, in my mind, I heard work white.
I need a censor button for you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but look at the name. No, when I say work while, you change one letter,
Yeah.
the L to a T, and you've got work white. Oops. In other news, I like the play in terms of this in that part of the industry being kind of broken. We've
Hmm.
talked about jobs, a lot of jobs that need to be placed, a lot of hourly blue collar jobs. 4 or 5 different stories in this podcast alone. So the fact that they got 23 million in a Series
Right.
B, good for them. Work while,
Work while.
while, not white. So this is MetaView, and I know
Yeah.
you and I both love this company.
Uh-huh.
AI platform that turns job interviews into actual hiring intelligence raised 35 million.
They did.
So is this Pillar 2.0?
Yeah, that's a good question. MetaView, I love MetaView. I always
I
have.
don't know.
When they came out, I think they were part of
Might have been.
quite a bit, yeah. But I've always thought, and this gets closer to the feeling that it starts to flirt with decision support.
Right,
And we've had
right, right.
plenty of conversations about this, right? So it's not just summarizing, it's now recommending what to say, where to post it, what matters in the conversation. Oh, I'm 1,000% for this. Like, I love it and it does fantastic. But the software, not MetaView, but software has always, or people we've spoken to, always said, we're not telling you what to do. We're giving you the data. You need to make the decision. And that's not held up so much in court legally,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so where does this get to that line of like at what point is it too much? But MetaView's fantastic. People love them and they have fantastic output too.
All right, you ready for another? Jet HR, a startup streamlining HR and payroll processes in Italy. My dad used to say, never said Italy. He always said Italy.
Italy.
It was
Mhm.
one of his, I don't know how you grew up.
I've heard a lot of
Don't,
people say Italy. Yeah.
Italy. It's just like skipped some letters. Anyhow, they raised 25 million euros at axios.com if you want to look it up. I love country specific solutions like this. and Jet is a pretty cool name.
It is a cool name.
It
Yeah.
is a pretty cool name. I don't hate
Yeah.
that, but I love country. We've done some on Nigeria. We've done
Hmm.
some country solutions where like, you know what, they get and will they be gobbled up by conglomerates later on?
Probably. I mean,
Probably.
it makes sense, right? If they need some local,
Right.
experts and or software, things like that.
Yeah.
So the word OFTEN. How do you say that?
Oft, often.
Yeah. Or is it often?
Oh, with an F. I have an F. I
What
have a I
what
have
I
a problem.
said?
I,
OFTEN.
I I know, but I have an F problem with certain words like Earth. If you notice, I didn't say th.
You say
It
earth,
was Earth.
earth,
Birth is the same. Birth is the same way. Birth.
birth.
I. It's just, dude. I don't know. Like my brothers make fun of me about it because
You gotta go
they'll
to
they'll
earth.
they'll call me just to say, "Hey man, will you do me a favor real quick?" Yeah. Say Earth.
Earth.
Thanks. Yeah. Great. Anyhow,
Earth. Yeah.
Jet is the name.
There you
Love
go.
it. All right, we do have one more, and it is one brief. This actually is really, really cool, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get a lot of more information about these guys. It's a provider of software for military staff collaboration and operational planning.
Okay.
Raised 20 million on a 1.1 billion value. So the AI Insider.tech, that's where we found that. Now, here's the kicker. It's much like your story earlier. They've doubled their valuation
Hmm.
in 3 months. So they went
Yeah.
from 500 million ish, round up, to 1.1 or 1 point, yeah, 1.1 in 90 days.
Yeah.
So I love the name for the industry they serve, One Brief,
Hmm.
because of the military. I love that, but good for them. I don't know
Yeah.
how we're going to get more details about them because I'm sure a lot of it's
Black
under
ops
wrap.
and
Yeah,
behind.
like when you see collaboration and operational planning,
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah.
of drone
When you
strikes.
said one brief, I thought it was like a press company or something, or like a media
Right.
firm.
No. They're out there helping kill people. We're
Oh,
good.
there we go. All right, well that's it, man.
Did we do it?
We're solid. We're done. We've got travel
We
coming up.
do.
So probably should have talked about this in the beginning. But
Eh,
if you're going to be at SHRM, stop
Sherms.
by the booth at iSolved. We will be podcasting live there. We'll have a nice little cushy setup,
Hell yeah.
filming and recording and having a whole lot of fun. Come talk to us. We got plenty of time. Couple
Got some
days.
great questions. Yeah, it's gonna
Sunny
be
San
fun.
Diego.
Doesn't suck.
Doesn't as long as you're inside.